ladies and gentlemen, around the corner.
Now we're all live.
We are LIVE live with one of my favorite people in professional wrestling. I mean, over the past 27 plus years.
Oh my God!
As Quincy Rossani calls him, Uncle Al Snow.
Yes,
Al, it is a pleasure to have you with us in your Waffle House looking
collar
and elbow shirt.
Thank you very much.
One of the most popular brand of wrestling merchandise in wrestling right now.
Yeah, on planet Earth.
Outside of what WWE does on their own website. I mean, those collar and elbow merchandise, it's everywhere on everybody except for me and Vicente Ray's press.
Don't worry, we'll get them on you and Vicente Ray's press.
All right. Both the left and the right, or just one press?
No, I mean, they're both adequate. We'll need to cover them sufficiently to be able to where he can go out in public.
In his own personal Mr. Socko that he has.
Correct.
I don't think he can pull it out quite like Nick did, but that's a different story for a different time.
True, but I'm sure it won't smell the same either.
Probably not. Wrestling fans, Al is with us for a very limited time before we tape episodes of Wrestling Insiders tonight. We have some of these beautiful 8x10 color photos available for your wrestling collection, your wrestling man cave, your wrestling woman cave, because I know our good friend is here right now, Al. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's finest, Maria Davis, who loves the black and yellow.
Oh, thank you.
I serenade her to the Carlos Santana song, Maria, Maria.
Do you?
You remind me of a West Side Story. And other than that, I know no other words.
And I don't think anybody gets that reference anymore, but I do. And I appreciate the fact that you made the reference.
Well, Maria's a wonderful woman. Yeah. Vaughn is here, otherwise known as Daniella. I don't know if I want to break kayfabe on that, Daniella.
Nah, you don't
Brian Duffy is here, the son of Choo Choo Charlie up in Maine. So we got a lot of great fans here. I'm going to put the link up in case you missed it. If you want to order one of the 3 beautiful Al Snow 8x10s, we'll be here for about a half an hour, unless you guys are really ordering hot. We had a lot of fun with Barry Dasso last night. We went going about an hour and a half.
Really?
Bill Eadie had a tough night. He got demolished. The Eadie mobile that was coming down for a family vacation, it turned into a Griswold excursion. And
did it?
The car broke down, and then once the Eadies finally reached their hotel destination, was bug infested. So Bill didn't join us last night, unfortunately. And then New Jack. The same thing. He got in very, very late from one of his independent shows and texted, "Dude, I'm drunk." Oh, so
well,
he's going to be joining us in Boston.
You have to appreciate the honesty.
You know, there was no con, there was no lie, and you know some of the hoodlums we've dealt with over almost 20 years of Boston wrestling, MWF, of which you've been with us since 2006 when you were in charge of WWE developmental.
Oh, really?
That was the first time you came in.
Wow.
May of 2006, and the commissioner didn't shit himself.
He didn't shit himself that time.
No, his ass behaved itself.
Yeah. One of the greatest stories ever.
Fans, I cannot implore you enough.
Greatest stories with Commish shitting himself.
If you want to read a unique wrestling book, different wrestling book, not your typical autobiography, but one that's just filled with so many fun stories, Al Snow's book is tremendous, except for I would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And the only reason I take that 1/2
misspelled your name.
They spelled my name wrong.
Right. It was Dan, D-A-N.
They got that part right.
We spelled it D-E-N.
No, Dan was right. It was the Marty part that was. I don't know what they were going for.
How did they misspell that?
I don't even remember it was so bad.
M-I-R-A-D-E.
And do you want to know what I was so excited? I was on a vacation.
Yeah.
And I was literally sitting on the beach at Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. Going through
the vacation?
It's a lovely place.
Oh, okay.
Triple H and Stephanie just built an $8 million compound up there, I believe.
Did they really?
They did.
Wow.
Nice place. So, you know, we're not talking bootleg like Wrestle House, but imagine what you thought as you were coming into the area of this luxury home. But,
listen, I've been in many areas of Tampa, and all of them are pretty much the same.
All right, fair enough.
The home is really very nice. It's we are also in a home, Airbnb, and it's a little older.
A little older than this.
A little block. It's a block home, and when we first came in, had that basement smell.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
No, but I bring the air freshener with me for that.
Oh, I understand.
Well, you ordered me to.
Well, you have experience. I mean, you travel with the commish, so you need as much air freshener as possible.
Vaughn, I want to know, you ordered your 8x10 photo of Uncle Al. How would you like it personalized? Do you want it made out to Daniella? Do you want it made out to Vaughn? Do you want it just made out as Al Snow? Hey! As I lose my voice, our good friend Kevin Petrantozzi from the Gold Exchange in Greensboro, North Carolina. He's with us for almost every premiere. Let's give Kevin a big shout out down in Greensboro.
Hey, Kevin,
baby.
down in Greensboro. How are you?
He loved you as Steve Moore, he said.
Wow. Kevin, I got to question your taste.
So, Al, beyond, we're talking the book. It's available on Amazon.
Yes.
I wish you had some books with us now. We could have tried to even push them
know,
tonight.
I know.
I'm sure at WrestleCon, they're white hot.
Yeah, they're going very well.
Now, with this collar and elbow line, how do you manage that? Do you do it out of Ohio Valley, or do you do it through a third-party vendor?
No, my partner runs the actual business of Somerset, Kentucky. And if anybody wants to go to collarandelbowbrand.com, and then they can use the code Snowman, and they can take 10% off of any purchase they have.
I'm going to put that in there right now. What was the website again?
Collarandelbowbrand.com.
Spelled and, or the and symbol?
A&D.
A&D. Collar and elbow.
Not ampersand.
And.
Brand.
Collar and elbow brand.com.
brand.com.
Well, we don't want to send them to the wrong collar and elbow.
No, we don't.
Save 10% using the code Snowman.
If we have a sale, they got 40% off. You add that code, you get 50% off.
Unbelievable.
So
now, you know what? If he was able to have a code on collarandelbowbrand.com, you think it would be uncut?
Quincy?
Vicente Ray.
Oh, Vicente Ray.
Yeah. Would it be uncut or breasts? Which one do you think would be the better code?
He's running a Snuffleupagus, I would have to say uncut, yes.
He loved the original tagline to Monday Night Raw in 1993.
What's that?
Uncut, uncensored, uncooked.
Yeah. He's got a hooded serpent, you know.
He was trying to tell Nick about it, but I don't think Nick quite understood, being the
Probably
gentleman
not.
that Nick is, that loving Santa
I don't
Claus
think Nick's
so
driving
much.
a covered wagon like Vicente.
Well, I've never shared the locker room with him in that way, but Daniella, you want it made out to Danielle. So Danielle would like the hardcore title one, the black one with you with the head.
Okay. Daniel. Am I correct?
No, that's Daniel. This is Danielle.
Which would be
Danielle.
Oh, L-E.
As in the feminine version.
Got it.
Slick Rick B, thank you for helping moderate tonight. Our good friend up in Maine near Tony Atlas. I don't know if you heard about the heel turn from Tony Atlas recently.
What?
Well, Tony claimed that after years and years and years of doing our talk show, he was spending $90 on a rent-a-car to make $55 at the studio.
Okay.
He has a new friend on. Would you just show it to us? So
the math doesn't add up on that.
No, it does. Well, thank you. He's got a new partner in crime on YouTube that thinks they're going to be making megabucks together. So
they might.
I wish them.
I hope they do. I hope. I love Tony. Tony's a great guy.
Have you? No, in all honesty, have you ever seen Tony's artwork? Is it something?
He's very talented.
And I think not quite cheeky baby level, but I there's a part of me that loves Tony Atlas. I've known him since 1993. So this bizarre turn of events. Over
so
the
you
past
love
few
Chic
weeks.
more than you do Tony Atlas?
Yeah. When you almost die with someone, when you almost get arrested in another country with someone.
The car accident story is got to be probably, without a question or a doubt, the best Iron Sheik story I have ever heard, quite honestly. And I can't, the problem that is that I can't do it justice. And I tell people all the time about the story, but I can't relate it. And I'm like, if Dan were here, like I would ask him to tell you the story so that you could appreciate this. It
was almost like the night, I think you heard it for the first time at the world famous Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex on Route 1, North in Saugus, Massachusetts. You said it's not a story, it's an adventure.
It's an adventure. It's an experience.
Maria Davis, thank you, our dear friend out there in Pittsburgh tonight. You know, it's funny. We just chimed in from the junior ambassador of Boston Wrestling, who's going to see his first WrestleMania this weekend.
Who's that?
Devon Brent. Hopefully we can get a nice picture for him tonight to add to his wall of fame.
Okay.
My lovely ex Linda brought him down and they're at one of the finest hotels in Florida, as they here at Russell House.
What's the funny? What's the
Well,
funniest
he was born in the middle of the accident when I almost died.
Right.
I didn't find out he was born until I got home from the hospital. So isn't that an amazing story? So I look at it like God kept me alive to help the junior ambassador's life be better.
Absolutely.
Isn't that something?
God definitely in that car accident kept you alive.
Again, you on our Wrestling Insider Talk Show series, Al.
My
now
gosh.
that it looks like Tony's on the TBA as far as when he's going to be back, Tony B. Atlas, or to be announced, we need a new Tuesday night co-host. Maybe we're going to have to, try and work something out.
We'll see what we can do.
We'll have to send in the private jet to Kentucky.
That'd be great.
Now, in all seriousness, there's a lot going on, great things going on in Ohio Valley. I respect so much what you've done above and beyond what any other wrestling school I've ever heard of has done.
Well, it's not just a wrestling school.
Well, all right. You take it from there then.
Okay. It is a wrestling school, but it is the only actually state accredited as a trade school for professional wrestling in the world. There's no other professional wrestling school or training center or camp or dojo or any other ridiculous name they want to come up with that is actually recognized and accredited by the State Office of Proprietary Education. State Office of Proprietary Education, no matter what the state is the office that oversees all secondary education after K through 12. So that's colleges, universities, trade schools like beauty schools, massage school, all of those things. And we're the only professional wrestling training center that is accredited as an actual trade school. And then as a promotion, we are an actual operating territory, much like in the old days. So everybody thinks it's just a training. Never has been, never will be. We are the longest running consecutively episodic, locally produced television show in the history of television right
Second
now.
to Memphis?
Nope. We actually have beaten Memphis.
Really? Who was first?
Raw is first.
Oh, okay.
SmackDown, we are a week ahead of SmackDown.
Really? You started in the summer of '99.
We started before that, but Danny Davis didn't count those episodes.
Oh.
So
okay.
We have 1,130 episodes as of this last week.
Wow. Now, how many of those are yours? Because I know WWE bought a lot of those.
Well, they did. They bought from, I think, around 1, 2, or 3 or something like that to 456.
So everything after that is still yours.
57 on is ours.
Great. Yeah. Now, what got you to the point where, I know you did just about everything on the planet with some version of TNA Impact. You were talent relations, you were an agent, you'd even wrestle sometimes. What got you to the point where you wanted to take the next step in the business and, almost take over OVW as your own? Did you enjoy it that much when you trained there, when you were in talent relations with WWE?
Well, I enjoy very much developing and teaching the talent and helping them, because I have a very vested interest in everyone's success, because the more successful they are, the more successful I am.
Right, sure.
And let's face it,
sure.
It's all about me. I'm no different than any other professional wrestler in that sense. But it just sort of serendipitously happened, because I moved back to Louisville, came down, kind of met Danny Davis. At the same time, I met my business partner because he was the executive director of the Kentucky State Boxing and Wrestling Commission. And I went and approached the board of directors for the Kentucky State Boxing and Wrestling Commission, appealing to them to create standards for wrestling training.
Geez, imagine that, huh? Imagine that. Standards for professional wrestling training. Who would have ever come up with such an idea?
I had approached the commission in Maryland, Oklahoma, Louisiana. They all blew me off.
Really?
Yeah, because it's about, if they create standards, then they're going to lose people that are right now paying to have a license.
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean. Okay.
Well, they don't want to do that.
Well, I mean,
But
what does
they
a
don't
license go for?
understand.
$25?
Yeah, but when you have it multiplied it over 4,000 people.
That many people have wrestling licenses?
Yes.
In Kentucky?
Yes.
4,000?
Yes.
I would have never guessed.
Well, go check the ones in Maryland, and Louisiana, and Oklahoma.
Active?
Thousands. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I am not
Because
eye in
there are
cheek
no
like, but I am humbled.
standards. And I found it to be an insult that my wife had to go to a state accredited school, be taught by a state accredited teacher with a state accredited approved curriculum for a number of state accredited hours, and then had to complete a number of residency hours before she could even apply and get a license. As a professional wrestler, anybody can open up a school, claim they have some kind of experience, and then they can start training people. And I can tell anyone out there, if you have goals to be in WWE, do yourself a favor. Find someone who has been there, because unless they have the experience, there's you that can facilitate your ability to reach your goal, because they themselves have never had that experience. Well, the same goes if you want to go overseas. If you want to go overseas, you got to find people that have went overseas so they can tell you what to expect, the mistakes they've made, all of those things, so that you can be better prepared. The idea, even if you just go to a university and you want to be an accountant, you need a professor of accountant to be an accountant to have worked for numerous companies and made mistakes, gained experience. Because at the end of the day, and we live in a world of information, everyone has information. And unfortunately, all of you think that just because you have information, you have knowledge. And those aren't the same thing. You can go to medical school for anywhere from 8 to 12 years, depending on your specialty. And the minute you graduate medical school, you are not a doctor. You have to complete a certain amount of required residency, which is hands-on experience coupled with the information you've acquired that equates to knowledge. Now you're a doctor. The same goes in every other walk of life. You cannot have somebody who doesn't have the actual experience to train you and teach you, to give you the skills to take advantage of an opportunity to get a goal that they've never done. Period. Ain't gonna happen.
So if there are aspiring young professional wrestlers out there, I think the word of wisdom you gave them was the best. I word it like this, maybe a little differently than you. I say, don't just go to the closest school, the cheapest school. Go to someone that at least worked in the industry on a full-time basis. It was their only profession, and they made a full-time living from it, whether it be WWF, WCW,
doesn't matter.
Any promotion. But at least they live the life as a full-time professional.
And
that
treated
to me
as a business.
It'd be like going to, I want to go learn to be a Major League Baseball player by someone who capped out in Little League.
Correct.
You can't do it.
Can't do it.
But there are so many people that'll waste their money and do it.
Yes.
And I think that is what's killed the independent version of what it is we do. But that could take us down a long road.
That hasn't killed the independent version.
Well, let's tell us your opinion on that, Al.
What has killed the independent version is that the wrestlers no longer perform for the audience. They perform for each other. They can say whatever they want to say. But the only reason that they meticulously call everything they do in the back, and they go back, they rehearse it in their minds, and then they go back and they refine it and go back over it and then rehearse that in their heads, is because they're terrified that they're going to make a mistake. Now, the only thing, and this is the truth, regardless of whether they want to deny it or not, the audience can never identify if they made a mistake because they don't know. But the other wrestlers can.
Right.
So they're more concerned about the end of the other wrestlers than they are about the audience that paid to see them. Money. That's why the business is where it's at. Now, I can prove it further.
All right. I want to hear it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
When I broke into the business, the only question you would ever hear a wrestler ask when he got to the building, ever, all night long, was what's the house? Because that was their only way to gauge what they were going to get paid. These wrestlers, the only question they ever ask is, hey, did you see my match? What'd you think of it? And that's of other wrestlers. They don't care what the audience thought. They only care about what the other wrestlers thought. And the sad thing is, the other wrestlers aren't watching their match because they're too worried that that wrestler who's asking that question is going to watch theirs. And so they're busy calling their match to impress someone who's out there that's going to write some critique of the match. They would rather have a critique that was glowing than they would a full house.
Isn't that something?
Well, it's because of the fact that they think they're entitled to get paid. They think that it's a job, that they're an employee, and nothing could be further from the truth. Because in any form of entertainment, you are paid based on what and how money of the people will pay to see you. Period. If your name on any form of advertisement will not amount to one ticket sale, that's what you're worth.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not because you came and wrestled, so now you're good and so you deserve money. Ain't the way it works, boys. I hate to break it to you. That ain't your job. Your job ain't to wrestle. Your job is to use wrestling to motivate someone to leave their house, drive to a building, sit in a shitty seat around people they don't want to sit around to watch you do your job. And if you can't do that, I don't give a shit what you think. You ain't worth nothing. If you can generate ticket sales, that's what you get paid off of. Period. You're not entitled. It's not a job. But if you want a job, go work at Walmart. Period. It's a much easier way to make a living because you're now in competition for the most valuable asset on the planet. Do you know what that is?
The spot on the show?
No.
What is that now?
Your
You're teaching
attention.
me. Oh.
How much money do companies pay to get your attention, even for 30 seconds?
Well, uncommercialized. Yep. You broke down before in one of our interviews just the value of what someone's time is on a WWF television program.
Okay.
Previously.
So how much does a commercial cost on TV for 30 seconds? And I'm now going to give you 6 minutes. I'm giving you 6 minutes to capture their attention for 6 minutes and to motivate ticket sales, not for you to get a 5-star match. Nobody gives a shit about your 5-star match. The guy, Mr. and Mrs. Walmart, went to the next channel. Because if they flip to the next channel, why did I put you on TV? But you're good. Paid. Paid for what? Did you do your job? Did you motivate somebody to come pay to see you? Oh, no, but you had a 5-star match. How many times you heard about having a 5-star match and a bill apparently wasn't that fucking good? So don't fool yourselves. If you don't like to live that life, stop now. Go home. Get a regular job. Don't fool yourself.
I love the way you break it down. I love the seminars that you did with us. I love to see how many of the guys that did the seminars with you went on to WWE. Kofi, he did one of the seminars you did with us.
Well, Kofi came to OVW as well. Tommaso did too.
What is he called now in WWE? Ivar, Warbeard Hansen. He did one of the seminars that you did. So a lot of high quality talent came through.
But it's, a lot of people want to take credit these days, and they want to get the rub, by saying, "Oh well, so and so got signed. I trained him. Listen, I can go down a list of hundreds of people I've trained, hundreds. You never hear me bring it up. Do you know why? I can teach you everything I want to teach you, and that's, you know what? If you're smart enough, I don't need to tell you. If you're dumb enough, you ain't gonna listen anyways. So it's not me. I can give you the benefit of my experience where I've made mistakes, but it's up to the individual talent, because the individual talent want to claim and point fingers at everybody else that it's their responsibility and not the individual talents. And I promise you this, you can think what you want to think. Vince McMahon does not make you a star, period. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. He'll tell you that himself. Because you know why? The minute you walk through that curtain, Vince McMahon ain't got shit to do with it. He cannot control you. He can't do anything to help you, and he can't do anything to hinder you. Granted, you'll make excuses and you'll say so-and-so, oh, they've made me lose. They bury me. Morons. You don't have to go over to get over. but you want to use that as justification, as an excuse. I did, to say that they're burying you. They're putting you on TV. 30 seconds for a television commercial costs God knows how many thousands of dollars. Why would they ever bury you? Why? What business sense does that make? Because now if the guy that beat you, if you're nothing, what's that make the guy that beat you? How's that benefit them? How's it benefit the company? So you make those excuses. Justify everything you want to justify. But at the end of the day, you walk through that curtain, you don't get over, you don't get heat, that's on you. It ain't on the promotion. Because you've been given the opportunity to make yourself a star, but you were too worried about trying to impress the other wrestlers in the back. That's your fault. Not Vince's, not some other promoters, yours.
Al, we have a photo request that was sent in from our friend Kevin at the Gold Exchange in Greensboro. We got photo number 2, which is the red one with the head.
Okay.
And he'd like it made out to, again, Kevin at the Gold Exchange.
Well, that seems very fortuitous.
Well, now, what advice would you give to someone like a good friend here, Vicente Ray? I mean, do you think the Kentucky Athletic Commission would be turned off by his issue with the manhood?
Well, I don't think so.
That's never been an issue that you've known of in any.
No, well, division. They will conduct a physical, and
so they would inspect the uncut.
They will. They'll actually check the undercarriage. And they're going to be looking into the hood. They're going to try to find the right there by the taint.
Thank you, Kevin.
So they might be a bit taken back by seeing the hooded python.
They could be a little surprised.
They could be. I'm not going to say they're not. But being professionals, like they are, I think they would sally forth and give him a pass. But look, we all have our handicaps. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, you're a mess. But for him, this handicap is more hidden. It's not like he needs to put a placard up on his, rear view mirror when he parks. If he does, God bless him. I mean, then that's not a handicap. That's an upside. Because if that thing's that big to where he's got to walk on a limp,
that might be actually to his benefit.
Sure. Well, we know it is.
As a matter of fact, back in '86, Rodney Dangerfield in the movie Back to School, he said he wanted to do the triple Lindy off of it.
Well, I mean, if it's like a diving board, then again, he's blessed.
Well, I can't wait for him to make his way out to Kentucky to try and take. But now, do you do?
I can't either. I mean, it's the land of horses, and apparently he's hung like one. So.
And never mind horse meat, he's got the breast meat too.
Well, yeah. But listen, they'll bypass that as long as they can see.
Before we go into
it's like an elephant's trunk, or
I want to talk more OVW, but we got a couple of questions from some of our super fans out there that help us keep the lights on.
Sure.
From our good friend Don the Barber. Al, do you think Tony Gunn has been a bit overlooked? Who I don't know who Tony Gunn is.
Well, then he must be overlooked.
Yeah. Well, by me at least.
Well, yeah. Tony is a really good hand. Has 16 years of experience. He's had some opportunities.
Where?
Impact.
Tony Gunn?
Yeah, nothing major yet. But I think, as we grow with OVW, I think that Tony's going to come more to the forefront.
Oh, has he come from OVW?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think that, people will see his value and take an interest in him. And, who knows? We'll see what he can do with the opportunity that he's been given.
That's really all you can do,
That's pretty much it. Like, again, once you walk through the curtain, it's on you.
Our good friend Joey, Christ Savior 88, he wanted us to know Jesus is Lord.
Well, thank God. No pun intended. I myself.
Joey, thank you for joining us tonight.
I appreciate it, Joey. And I just want you to know, Joey, I'm a Presbyterian. We believe that when you die, your soul goes up on the roof and gets stuck there. So,
all right. Well, our good friend Victor Murphy. This question is for
I'm
Al Snow.
I'm also bootish, which means that I patiently wait for a sale. So,
all right. Well, there you go.
Okay.
The question is for Al Snow. Do you have any memories of working at the San Diego Sports Arena? We met at San Diego Comic-Con. I was signing. Oh, I was singing.
I don't remember him singing.
Yeah.
But I do
My
remember.
Way, like Pat Patterson?
I don't think he did.
No.
And but I remember being at the San Diego Comic-Con. I remember being at the San Diego Sports Arena. I remember going out. That was where I found Pierre. Was at a in the parking lot. They were holding a big like flea market thing the day that we had TV, and I found Pierre.
Now, for those fans that don't remember, Pierre was the deer head, right?
Pierre was a deer head that had
Attitude Era.
missed an eye, and was named after Pierre Rolette.
Is that?
Yes.
Oh, that's hysterical. I love your stories. But for aspiring wrestlers out there that may be interested in the Ohio Valley wrestling experience, believe it or not, you might have to move to actually get the best education you can in the King of Sports professional wrestling.
And if
how would they go about getting involved with OVW?
You would go to ovwrestling.com or aswa.live. The ASWA is the Al Snow Wrestling Academy. We have affiliates in Surrey, England, the Midlands in England, in Romania, Hungary, Denmark, Greece, 2 in Chile, both in Santiago and Concepcion, and then we have 1 in Salt Lake City, 1 in Denver, 1 in Huntsville, Alabama, and 1 in Pittsburgh.
Wow. Maybe Maria Davis could get involved.
Maybe
I could sing to her.
Sure. Yeah.
Now
you have the voice of an angel.
No. Our good friend Kevin Petrantozzi that had the picture signed, he wants to know, Al, do you love our weekly Thursday night partner in crime on Wrestling Insiders, the man whose party still hasn't stopped from the 80s, Marty Jannetty?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Marty.
Should we call him?
I do. No, not right now.
You never know what to expect with Marty.
You never do.
Marty sometimes has cut his hair on the program. He takes toilet paper and he makes himself a tooth for the one that's missing. He has many tales of, I don't know if did you ever stay at the Hilton in Boston?
Yes.
Do you remember an individual named Annie the Ass Eater?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And did you ever get a cleaning?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
No, see, I think the fans have
and listen.
All right,
I don't judge anybody. Okay,
for their skills.
Well,
it's like Liam Neeson in Taken. She had a special set of skills.
Special set of skills. She will find you. I don't judge anybody, and you can do whatever you want with whoever you want as long as there's no victim involved. And there were no victims involved in that. So, and that's their business. So. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, Barry Windham was the first victim back in the early 80s.
I doubt that he was the first. I doubt that he was the first.
That's how I was told.
I'm sure there was a gateway somewhere into that whole situation.
Well, maybe in the world of wrestling.
Maybe
there, it was like, like baseball. There were several levels. Maybe there was single A.
Well, yeah. And then you start
the pro wrestling.
Yeah. And then you get into the farm team and then you move your way up. Yeah.
Now, I think the fans.
Tossing salad.
Annie comes up almost every week with Marty. And I think they picture this gorgeous, beautiful woman.
Well, she wasn't ugly. I mean,
well, to me, she kind of looked like Adrian Adonis before he dyed his hair blonde. But
you don't need to be.
Well, I'm just trying to give him an accurate description. Al.
Well, she was a very nice person.
Very nice person.
She was, and that really is all that matters. So
it is. She was very kind with her, abilities. She was very giving.
Well, she was very, very. Apparently, from what I understand, very.
It was funny.
And very skilled.
I hate to bring up my dear friend.
I'm sure
you know someone that I love to death, the late Paul Bearer. But Annie claimed that she had taken.
Just quit. No, I don't even want to visualize that.
It probably would have looked like Annie going into a cave if it ever happened.
It was like going into the Bat Cave.
But Paul Bearer denied it. Paul Bearer denied that there was ever.
I don't blame him.
There was any interaction there.
Well,
I don't know. But wrestling fans,
I don't know if I would, if I were Annie, I don't know if I would try to use that as to like, hey, there's a notch on my bedpost.
Well, you know, she actually had a very famous quote that she liked to throw out about her, interactions with the wrestlers. And you know her voice. She'd say, I'm not like those other whores, baby.
Who was?
This is Annie.
Who was?
Baby. When Vince comes to town, he'll buy me a drink. I don't let those guys fuck me like their mother whores, baby. And do you remember her sister Gina?
Yes, I do.
She was about 6'5" and looked kind of like Big Bird.
Yes, I remember her.
It's a good thing we don't use the last names, but at a show before you came in, this is how Marty came into the equation. Because
how did Marty come into the equation?
I don't know whatever led to it, but in the middle of this conversation, Gina ripped up her shirt, had a C-section scar, and Annie squealed, "That's from Marty, baby!" Now, Marty denies it. He said he never made his way to Sesame Street. I don't know.
Oh, God. Oh, Dan.
We have a lot of fun, Al.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you. It's been too long.
Oh, it has,
since
Dan.
you were rolling around with Bob Orton on the Hilton floor in New Orleans the morning of WrestleMania.
At a WrestleCon. At a WrestleCon. Right there with everybody around. Yeah.
All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time. If anyone wants an 8x10, now is the time. Al and I have to tape some great episodic television for you.
I can hardly wait. We can only go up from here.
Well, with Annie, maybe the other direction.
Yeah.
Now, I think
the movie The Black Hole.
Slippers would have been before your time, I think.
What's that?
Slippers?
No.
You remembered Slippers? She was really old. But,
yes.
I mean, you're talking closer to 70 than 60. And she would come to the Hilton in her pajamas.
Correct.
And the Hebners would.
Correct.
They were. It was like a team effort.
Well, you're assuming. We will just assume that.
They almost.
We don't know.
When they go to the elevator at the Hilton, they'd be almost like arm in arm, like Liberace and the Rockettes at WrestleMania 1.
We will not jump to conclusions that those things took place. We will just say that we witnessed certain things that would lead us in a certain direction.
Well, and you know what? She kind of resembled Bonnie because the pajamas were usually purple. As she said in the bar at the Hilton, as Annie was going room to room, almost like a trick-or-treater looking for candy.
Yeah.
Oh, we missed the question.
We missed the I didn't put.
Al, why did you leave Croydon? I was thinking of joining, so I joined King's Gym instead. I have
Croydon.
No idea what that means.
We had to move the building, the facility, because the building on that side.
Is this OBW?
No, it's ASWA.
Oh, okay.
In Croydon, so we had to move to Surrey because the building was leaking and had issues with the weather, and so the King's Gym was right next door.
Oh.
So we had to move locations and move to Surrey. So that was why.
Now, how is that operation going? The international?
Oh, it's good.
Is it?
Yeah. With the challenges with COVID, everything's way more locked down in the UK and other parts of the world. They're really, a lot more stringent and a lot more restrictive. So, they're just waiting until a lot more of that starts to open up, but it won't. In the UK, I don't think they're going to even come close to really becoming opened up until probably June, world.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how often do you go over to the International Academy
I haven't-
physically be there?
Yeah, I used to go over about once every. I'd go to the UK about once, about every 6 to 8 weeks, about 10 days,
Oh, really?
and then
So you put a lot of time into this. They're not just leasing your name. You're really physically involved in that.
yeah, and I'd went to South America quite frequently, and the other ones as well, and but I just haven't been able to devote as much time to
You can't get over there.
Well, you can't right now. You can't get over there, and I couldn't do as much because of the um, because of my responsibilities with OVW. So
Now, how involved are you in OVW? I mean, are you training guys several days a week?
I have 3 trainers because I have a beginners, intermediate, and advanced, teaching specific skills in each one of those, and you have to learn and understand the skills that you learn in one class to advance to the next. And then I work with the trainers directly, and then I write, like tonight. I'll have to write TV for the following week. This coming Tuesday till tonight. I may end up putting it off until tomorrow night.
How often do you do TV shoots now? Is it weekly?
Weekly. We always have, yeah.
Now, is it empty arena right now, or is it socially distanced?
We only had about 2 weeks that we did empty arena. When the quarantine first hit, there was a very long period of time where we had to do compilation shows. But for us, it wasn't it took a lot of time to produce those shows, but it wasn't much of a challenge because we go out of our way to tell stories. So to do a compilation show, all I had to do was, I have one guy who was great. He would help me and I'd say, hey, I'm going to tell a particular story about these 2 guys. And he would go through and he'd pull like 100 episodes that had those 2 guys on it. He would give me a synopsis of each episode of what they did, and then I would go through and I would pare that down to where it was just I'd go from 80 or 90 to 45 episodes. Then I would go from 45 episodes to just the really essential key spots that told a story. Then I had to go through and it's a 6-segment show for 1 hour. So I would have to break that down to a beginning, a middle, and an end. So segment 1, 2 was the beginning, 3, 4 was the middle, 5, 6 was the culmination. And, that was that took the most amount of time. But producing it, we just did the wraparounds. So you just did the pitches out, the pitches in, and, from each segment. And, and then you basically recap stories. So we did that for probably the first 18 to 20 weeks. It was when it got to be past 20 weeks that we started running out of stories that we had to start to manufacture stuff. And that got to be a bit of a challenge. And then we had about, I think it was only 2 weeks that we operated without an audience.
Really?
And then we were given clearance to operate with like a 50% capacity or something like that. And so we began back with an audience, and since that time it's really started to grow, and we're now, I think we're at 60 or 70% capacity.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, you're doing a lot better than Massachusetts, that's for sure. We're at 12.
Yeah.
So we got a long ways to go there.
We at one point we were at like 12, 15% or whatever, but we at least had bodies in the building and an audience to react. And but we went to great lengths because I took a baseball stadium seating pattern, which was like a checkerboard, and that way no one was directly in front of you. Someone was always at least 3 to 4 seats away from you. No one was directly behind you. So it alternated like a checkerboard pattern, and created a social distance for everybody seated in the building. We required masks, and we were able to keep operation. So
it's worked out good.
Yeah. It's and we're at a point where now things are starting to turn the corner, and we're starting to grow the audience back up again. People are starting to feel more comfortable, a little more confident about coming out in the house, and just for the television tapings, we've got We have a national television deal where we're in about 150 million homes nationwide. We have our own Roku channel, our own. We're on Amazon Prime and Amazon Fire. We're on Fight TV. We're on Sports International, which is a European sports channel. We're on Sky Sports, which is in the UK. We access with just Sports International potentially about 700 million homes worldwide. Regionally, we are live every Tuesday night. We're going to move to Thursday nights in May. Prime time from 8 to 9 in Louisville, Kentucky and the surrounding area. But we're going to be in Lexington on Thursday nights and on Saturday mornings. And then in these television areas don't mean anything to the average person, but basically we're going to have access to the entire regional state of Kentucky, which having the television shows in that many areas regionally will facilitate our ability to run live events on a weekly basis. The goal is to get back to where we were when I had the operation with WWE. At that last year, we ran 186 live events.
Wow.
50 of those were television, 134 of those were live events, house shows, and we had an average attendance of 400 people. Really? Wow. Yeah. So the goal is with the TV access is to get back to that where we will run a minimum of 2, if not 3 live events every week, and then in addition to that, TV.
So this is keeping you busy 7 days a week, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Sure.
With the TV studio work I do, you've been to Humble Abode in Boston before. But Al, we had a picture request. Let's just show the fans as we're wrapping up here. He wanted the one with the head.
Okay.
With the hardcore title, the black one.
Okay. All right.
And this one is for Junior Ambassador. I'm going to have to spell that name out for you. It's not an easy one.
Go ahead.
It is D-E.
Hold on. D-E.
V-A.
V-A.
U-G.
U-G.
H-N.
H-N.
And some kind of a cool little Al inspirational message on there, maybe. Something from the mind of Al Snow that he'll always remember.
All right.
In his 15-year-old room as he goes nuts cyber schooling.
Don't ever quit on yourself.
You think Vicente Ray ever said that to his foreskin?
Probably has, because obviously he hasn't quit on it and hasn't let it go. And
he's
very attached to it, to the point to where he's got to worry about, duck butter. So.
All right, real quick, from our friend Average Joe, ask Al about Big Boss Man potatoes in '99. Does Boss Man stick with you?
Not at all.
No, really?
Not really. No potatoes at all. The only thing that Boss Man did was that he purposely went out of his way to strike fear and terror into Pepper so that Pepper would piss down my fucking hand or arm while I held a dog.
All right, wrestling fans, I'm going to refresh button one more time. Alan, I do have a lot of serious business to attend to tonight, even though it's probably won't be very serious.
I was going to say, I don't know how this is going to be serious.
We do have a lot of fun here on these shows. We just want to make sure we didn't miss anybody. As noted, I'd love to have Al back into the studio in Boston if his busy schedule allows.
I would love to. I get to see Quincy.
Get to see Quincy.
I know. I miss Quincy so much.
But the funny, we have one more order that just came through. Let me call this up. The funny thing is, I don't think a lot of the fans at home that are newer, one positive that came from Corona is the literal explosion as far as the number, not like Quincy's explosions, but the explosion of fans that have started to watch the shows weekly.
Right.
Almost tenfold from at points in 2020. It's nuts. But they don't know Quincy as you do yet.
Quincy is an amazing human being. And here's why. Okay. Quincy is special. Quincy is not burdened by any of the bullshit that the rest of us deal with. and one night at Kowloon's, I watched Quincy on the dance floor, and he didn't care. He went out, he danced, you know,
Leopard skin jacket.
his leopard skin jacket. And women, all the women in the building came and started dancing.
They wanted
with
to do,
him
it was like the
and
Godfather and the host.
They wanted to dance with him because he give a shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's something beautiful about that.
Oh, it's amazing. And at that point in time, I really, quite honestly, I was jealous of Quincy. I mean, I really was, you know, and God bless his heart.
Well,
you know, and he is who he is. There's no BS. He doesn't put on airs. He is Quincy.
The fans need to get to know him better. Our new fans,
They do.
say, because I tell you this, Quincy he's been under the belief that his nemesis in life, Reno Chastain,
and I wonder where that comes from,
was involved with Gustavo Fring of the
Jesus
TV
Christ.
show Breaking Bad.
Yes.
And after a situation that happened at the Red Roof that Quincy was told that he recorded with a video camera that he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
You were blackmailed for $4 million into buying this chicken franchise.
You can't tell him things like that because Quincy gets upset because he cares about me.
And he went to a lawyer's office
Yes.
trying to get you help. Luckily, he didn't know your name. But
yeah, thank God.
But the lawyer's office did
But
call
see, that's the thing.
The lawyer's office did call the studio looking for more information about this blackmail.
But see, that's the thing. He would go and he would protect you.
Yes.
I mean, he will go to the ends of the earth for you. You know, God bless him. I love him so much.
Christopher, we got your order for the Al Snow hardcore title photo.
Okay.
Let us know how you want it personalized, buddy. Then we got to go. If anybody wants an order, we got to go quickly. No, we're not talking about Quincy Jones. We're talking about Quincy Rossani. But pretty close.
Rostani, yes.
Quincy Rossani.
Not Quincy Jones. That's from Motown. I don't think Quincy Jones has those issues.
I don't think people have lived until they've seen Quincy dance. It is.
Oh, it's beautiful.
People used to talk about Elaine on Seinfeld when they did
Yeah.
that episode, but she's got nothing.
No. You want to see a full body dry heave.
Quincy to try and ask for milk at
But
a Chinese food restaurant.
Yeah.
And
that
then-
was, yeah.
And then dance.
And then dance. But every woman came out on the dance floor and danced with him. And I was like, God damn. He's the man.
There's something just pure and innocent about that. Oh, wait a minute. Vaughn, you had one more question. Let us, lovely
Who should
friend.
I make it out to?
Oh, we still need to work. Christopher, do you want it made out to you as Christopher, a friend, a loved one? Quincy, let us know. And Vaughn, let us know your question, and then we got to go because we were only planning on doing this a half an hour, and we've gone
An hour.
pretty close to an hour. Yeah. Screaming Baboon has never heard of Quincy. Well, you're going to get to not only hear of him, but hear him.
Oh, yeah.
When Al returns to the studio.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see Quincy.
I still think the one Quincy experience you would have loved was when him and Bill Eadie did a pitch for the Paul Bearer toy drive together. He didn't have a clue who the fuck Bill Eadie was. He didn't give a fuck who Bill Eadie was.
He didn't care.
But he wanted to get his shit in.
He wanted to get his shit in, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, here's the question from Vaughn. Memories of Houston Mid-South promoter Paul Bosch, who was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame Legacy Wing this year.
Well, Paul Bosch was a consummate professional. Houston is such a big city. You know, it's like the largest city in the United States still. And it was so large that it was considered its own territory.
It's almost like Vicente Ray's penis.
Similar.
Yeah, but not quite as.
I was going to say it's a little smaller than that. And not quite as expansive or wide.
Or covered.
And nor did it swell, even in heat. And, Paul successfully ran that for years and, garnered a lot of respect within the wrestling business, was very fair, very honest, and very direct as a promoter. And the boys all valued that. So
regarded as one of the most honest men as far as the payoffs went. Do you believe that to be true?
Yeah.
I thought it was nice.
Vince Senior too. Vince Senior, had a reputation as well of always honoring his word, always doing what he said, and he gave a lot of, gave you guys as they came in a beginning date and a start date and an end date. Stuck to that, unwaveringly. If he agreed to pay a certain amount, that was what you got paid. So. And Vince Jr. too. I honestly, people can say whatever they want about, Vince, but business wise,
you
Vince,
were never shorted anything you believed you deserved.
I don't think so.
Mhm.
I don't think so. If I had, utilized the opportunities that were given to me to a much more greater advantage, then I would have been compensated accordingly.
All right. I think maybe we should just make that one out to Christopher. We have one from Victor too. Let me see what Victor ordered. Victor, how do you want yours made out, buddy? I know I saw your name in the live stream. And then if you guys really want a picture, we really got to go soon. Al was so busy. It took him hours to get through the rush hour Tampa traffic to get here.
Oh boy.
So Victor, let us know how you want it made out, brother. He does want the black one.
Okay.
Not like what he likes, but
okay.
Now you were a fan of the Jeffersons, I'm sure, at one point.
Yeah, sure.
Now you remember Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
He lives the gimmick of Mr. Willis. You know what I mean?
Good
He's
for
the
you.
Dave Willis of 2021.
Listen to me. I've been all over the world.
Yeah.
And every time I turned off the lights, I couldn't tell you what color or anything else.
Oh.
And it didn't matter.
Now, see, are you proud of yourself now?
I like that.
The Dave Willis of professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, right here with us. At
And not to
House.
mention, if you all are smart enough, you've got phones in there. If you want to sit there and scientifically understand why somebody has a little bit of a darker tone, it's just because their genetics, they were born closer to the equator.
That's all.
And there was a greater amount of sun.
But he said February 15th was his least favorite day of the year when all the chocolate comes off the shelves. He has to settle for discount chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
No, we don't want that. He wants that made out to Victor.
To Victor. What a surprise.
Well, sometimes, you know what the thing is? You personalize them.
Yeah.
And then they say,
they change
I wanted it to my brother Bob. Happy birthday, or something like that. And I think we had one more that just came through, if I'm listening to the fine folk.
Okay.
Here in the chat, along with Victor, not Victor the Wrestling Bear, but Victor Murphy.
I remember Victor the Wrestling Bear.
Did you ever work with Victor
Ginger.
the Wrestling Bear?
I actually worked with a bear.
Did you really?
One time. I will never do that again.
All right. Von Lauren, can you ask him who his favorite OVW wrestler is? Mine is Dustin Jackson.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm sure Dustin will be thrilled to hear that. I don't have a favorite. Because I have to be impartial and I have to oversee all of them and try to help all of them in some manner to some degree succeed.
Mm-hmm.
The more every one of them succeed, the more I succeed.
And it makes for a better OVW experience.
Makes better business.
Now, folks, again, we're wrapping up here. Again, Al, tell them how they can get a hold of you at OVW if they're interested in really breaking into the sport, the old school way.
They can go to ovwrestling.com or to aswa.live. If you want to follow me on any social media, you can go to The Real Al Snow. Yes, The Real Al Snow, because prior to check marks and verifications and all of that, there were people and still are people that pose as me online. And if I find out that you are, all I'm going to do is message you and go, look, come on, seriously. You can't aim the bar higher. Like, if I were going to fake being a celebrity, it'd be like, Brad Pitt or, somebody like that. And you're picking Al Snow. So you figure that maybe that's because you're going to be able to ride under the radar. I don't know.
All right, wrestling fans, you heard it from the horse's mouth himself, not to be confused with the must-see video we have on our YouTube channel where you discuss your incident observing the horse.
The horse? Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, 2 horses.
We don't want to spoil that one for the fans, but as much as you love my story about the sheep,
that
horse won to me the first time I heard it.
support it.
The first time I heard it. Oh, wait, we have one more. It's from Steve Hamilton, Al.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, let's see. I'm going to guess you want to pay out to Steve. He would also like the black one,
Okay.
much like Mr. Willis. Steve, if you're in here right now in the room, do you want it made out to Steve? We're running out of time, folks. We loved having you with us. We can't wait for you to see the episodes we're going to tape. The animal known as Glantz is going to be manning the cameras tonight. He is a lethal animal, former protege of Boston Red Sox catcher Rich Gedman and Tony Gwynn of the San Diego Padres.
Really completely unnecessary information, but anyways.
All right. Well, we like to give the Rabbit Hammer. Are you Steve? Yes, make it out to Steve, please.
Okay, I will.
All right. And just hold that up to Steve when you're done so we can see the beautiful collectible coming his way. Look at that, folks. Rick B. Glantz, you got a shout out. All right, folks, we're running out of time again. If you want to help keep Wrestling Legends working, help keep the lights on at Wrestle House and at the studio, check us out, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. We'll be back live tomorrow with Dirty Dutch Mantel.
Ooh.
We will be back Sunday live at 2 p.m. with JTG of Crime Time.
That'll be interesting.
And on Monday at 2 p.m., we'll be joined by a man who has got now some of the most unique sideburns in professional wrestling, the WWE Hall of Famer, Gerald Briscoe. I don't know if you've seen them, but
I have. They're impressive chops. And JTG is one of my kids. So
any anecdote about JTG real quick before
I
really like
JTG was in OVW without a contract. And he came in, he and another guy, and the other guy was with WWE for a while. He came and did a dark match. I can't remember his name. They came in and they had these books, and I saw them, and immediately I thought I can put them together with Shad Gaspard. God bless him. And I could make them a team, and I was going to have them all wear the bulletproof vests and the hats, and they were very relevant at the time. And I thought it'd be great. And the third guy disappeared because something happened with his girlfriend or something, just as I had that idea. So I put JTG and Shad together, and then the rest is history. They became a team. It inspired, the WWE. They put them under, put JG under a contract. And then they had their opportunity, and they made the most of it that they could, and had a run. So
I wish the Street Profits had what this Crime Time had. I really like Crime Time.
Yeah,
they were very thick. They looked like tough men.
Yeah, and they were very entertaining.
A good athlete and the guy that kind of looks like an older Harlem Globetrotter. But that's a different story for a different time. But you want to know something funny before we go?
What's that?
We mentioned JTG. If you want to talk about later,
right? We
had TJP here with us yesterday.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know TJ.
And you know how my mind works. We've known each other long enough.
Yeah.
He started talking about how at his home in Las Vegas, he has pigs.
Okay.
And my mind thought,
of course, I know. Yeah, of course you did.
He has pet pigs.
Yes.
And we had quite the
conversation.
Yes,
because you were thinking women, and he was saying actual swine. Yes. I can see how that would be for you a misunderstanding.
Oh,
yes.
Wrestling! It's like what Linda used to say about me. I'm the world's oldest 12-year-old.
Yeah.
All right, wrestling fans, we are running out of time right now. I'm hearing one of the autographs is incorrect. Wait a minute. What did we miss, folks?
What
did we miss?
Ooh.
What did we miss? We're still live for a few ounces.
Huh?
Is there one more in here?
Hickory Farm sausage.
The last order we had. If we missed anybody, shoot us, and I'm going to put an email up here right now. Shoot us a scroll back. Rick, do you know the name, buddy? We were really out of time. Dan, wait a minute. Dan, I lost it. The chat goes so quick, Al, with all these people typing. Oh, you know what? We did mess up. The one for Christopher.
Yeah. What should it be?
Christopher he wants it made out to his son instead, Brady.
Oh, well. Thanks.
Not to be confused with Tom, but
right.
Thank you for that catch, Vaughn. You are tremendous. So, Christopher, you're going to get the 1-2 punch. You can have 1-2 for your bedroom.
God, you're terrible.
Oh,
Just-
boy. Now, do you
just
think if Annie ever
horrendous.
had the chance to encounter Head, that they would have become good friends?
I doubt it. No, I don't. You know,
Well,
Head
she said
had.
she was too good for that. to be
No, I
honest.
think Head actually had Napoleon standards. So
Really? All right. Well, can you imagine how many COVID tests Annie's tongue would have needed in the 80s?
quite a few.
Yeah, that's more than 19. But
Yeah.
All right, wrestling
probably
fans.
also Hep C
we're running out.
and rickets.
We're running out of time. We had a blast with Al. Look for the episodes of the talk show coming this spring and summer. And if all goes well, if you guys like it, hopefully we can have Al back up to Boston because we just have so much fun, so many laughs. It's not the quote unquote atypical shoot interview that you typically see. We just have fun conversing about some of the crazies that we've met in our time.
Absolutely.
And you know many more than I. And I know a lot.
I know quite a bit more. So
Exactly. That's why it's so much fun. All right, wrestling fans, we sign off here from Wrestle House in Tampa,